Welcome to the Agora Follow podcast, where you learn English in a way you'll never forget. And now, your host, the craziest English teacher from Brazil, Leonardo Leite.
Traveling. Oh boy, do I like doing some traveling. I consider myself a homebody. Do you know what a homebody is? It's that kind of person who loves staying home, who really enjoys doing home stuff, such as reading, listening to music, having friends over, watching a movie, and rarely television in my case, cooking, and a whole lot of other things related to being home. But I'm crazy about traveling. Isn't that an oxymoron? Okay. That's not a very common word, but I'm sure you get the idea. Two opposite ideas, being a homebody and loving to travel. How can that be? In my world, that's perfectly possible. When I travel, I feel alive. I feel the adrenaline in my body. When I'm traveling, I really feel in my skin that the world is still moving, that life is happening no matter what I do. So I'd better do something. Traveling is like going to school to learn about the world. And if you travel, you are going to learn about something. Not only about the world, but about people, their lives, their behaviors, their feelings. You are going to learn more about yourself. The thing is, when you're home, you're comfortable. You know your way around. You dominate the area. There are no challenges. And you know what? I love that too. But when I'm traveling, I have that feeling of not being stuck. I'm always experiencing something new. Whether it's a new place, a new view, a new friend, a new dish, even a new challenge. Traveling makes you think in different ways all the time. It forces you into being more flexible towards life, you know? You learn to be more respectful and understand that people are different. And in a certain way, all the same. The same need for love, caring, respect, attention. When we travel, these principles stand out in front of our eyes. And it makes you understand what really this is all about. When you travel, you realize how important it is to be able to communicate. Speaking English is a must when traveling abroad. So, if you're listening to this podcast, congratulations, my friend. You're practicing what is most important in communicating in English, especially if you're traveling abroad, which is listening. Listening and understanding during your trip is more important than speaking. And that's kind of obvious, because if you don't understand what people say to you, what's the use of speaking? You know what I mean? So don't you forget that. Your English speaking skills come from the activity of listening. Here are some tips for you to practice your listening before taking off. Number 1, know what you are about to listen. Lots of people ask me if they should watch TV or listen to music in order to practice their English. And I always say no. Why not? Because in order to really train your ears and mind for the English language, you have to control the activity of listening. What do I mean by that? Know what you're going to listen before you start listening. If it's an audio, have the script of that audio in hand and make sure you understand what it is about. New vocabulary, phrases, etc. If it's a video you're going to watch, make sure you know what the story on the video is about. New vocabulary, new phrases, and so on. And only after you are completely familiar with what you're going to listen, start the listening activity. Number 2, listen as many times as you can in a short period of time. Take, for example, 1 hour practice. listen to this audio material as many times as you can within that hour. Okay, let me clear that up. You start listening, then listen again and again and again until you are kind of sick and tired of that same topic. In a way that if anybody asks you anything about what you're listening, you can practically tell the whole story with your own words. By doing that, your mind starts synchronizing with your ears. And you start having that feeling of thinking in English, because you have heard those phrases so much that you won't feel the need for translation anymore. Now, if you do this every day, trust me, something is going to happen, my friend. And you will feel amazed when you listen to other materials. Number 3, answer questions about the topic you have just listened. When I create an audio, I include questions about the topic. And you can answer as you listen. You won't need to stop playing to answer. You'll have the feeling as if you were, talking to me about the topic of the audio. And this will give you speed of conversation. Because you won't answer with long sentences, You'll answer with short sentences, just like a normal conversation. And the last one, number 4. Learn to have fun with this process. My friend, you gotta have fun during your training. Just like when you're traveling. Remember, when we travel, there are exciting moments and there are boring and difficult moments, right? But we try to have fun all the time, right? With good and bad times. Same thing goes for English training. Have fun, my friend. Don't let the difficult parts of English training get in the way of your having fun. Okay, now it's your turn. I want to hear from you. Tell me down below here in the comments, what do you like about traveling? And what is challenging for you when it comes to traveling? And remember, I will answer all your comments. Well, that's it for now. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.
You've been clarified by